The left is working the race card for all it's worth, increasingly dividing our society in a way that I would say is extremely unhealthy, in a way that I don't know whether or not we can even recover. It's going to take a lot, right? Because they just keep digging in and they're doing more and more and more damage. Remember Senator Tim Scott going on TV the other night with the rebuttal to Biden's speech and saying that, you know what, America's really not that bad. And you know how they piled on him. You know what happened on social media. You know the references to Uncle Tim. It was not right. And now it's continuing to be a mess, thanks to none other than the supreme racial divider herself, Maxine Waters. Listen to her here on KTLA's Inside California Politics over the weekend, saying she thinks America is more racist than ever before. I want you to see how she reacts to Senator Tim Scott's speech.
We've worked so hard to heal. You know this stuff is wrong. Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
Every day we have seen, this nation get more racist than anybody thought perhaps would be at this point in time.
We're more racist every single day? We're the most racist we've been at any point in time? I mean, forget the 50s or the 60s, forget the 1800s. Somehow Maxine Waters thinks this is the worst it's ever been. I'm going to point out a few obvious things, including the fact that we elected a black president twice, right? That's not a racist country that does that. We now have a minority woman as vice president. We have Maxine Waters, we got Senator Scott, we got a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds, and that is good in our U.S. government and in all parts of America, and that's good, and we've accomplished a lot. So don't sit there and tell me that it's worse than it's ever been in terms of discrimination. I would argue that the division is worse than it's ever been. And that is on these politicians who are deliberately using the issue of race in a really destructive way. They talk about systemic racism. Why don't we talk about systemic inequality for economic opportunity, thanks to the likes of these Maxine Water types that are there collecting money theoretically on behalf of their people, but somehow it never makes it to the people, right? That's socialism for you. These communities, predominantly African-American communities that were most disadvantaged, put at the biggest disadvantage during the coronavirus crisis, because those poor kids didn't get to go to school. Those kids didn't go to school. In some cases, they're still not in school because of powerful teachers' unions and, once again, corrupt politicians who do not have the interest of the community and the people at heart. They just try and use the community. And it's about time that people speak up for what's right, so every child in America gets real opportunity from an economic standpoint. These people are manipulating the situation in really catastrophic ways. I want you to hear this.
Is America not a racist country?
Well, I don't know if he was counseled to say that or whether he really believes that. If he really believes that, then he has missed not only the history of the country, but what is going on right now. As we watched the invasion of the Capitol on January 6th, and those people following Trump saying they were taking back their government and they were willing to harm people. As a matter of fact, not only were they willing to harm people for the Capitol Police, who happened to be people, police of color, African American, they were calling them names, the N-word. Every day we have seen, this nation get more racist than anybody thought perhaps would be at this point in time.
You see, that's all because a sitting U.S. senator dares to say something that's at odds with the party line, right? So if you're African American, you're not allowed to deviate from what Maxine Waters and the rest of them want to tell you. Somehow that really feels un-American to me. We're individuals with our own individual experiences, and it's that individual that makes the country strong.